Recent studies have found that the happiest people on our planet live in Finland.
It is not Disney World, it's Finland.
I know. Some of you might be thinking in the lines of,
Good for them.
or even,
Well, at least someone's happy. But wait, we're literally talking about a country with taxes so high they make you cry.
Where's all your money gone, buddy?
And the weather so horrible that even Russians couldn't handle it. So, why are they so happy then? Well, after diving more deeply into this topic, we did figure out that there's one thing that the Finns are doing differently from the rest of us.
and no, we're not talking about the huge amounts of coffee that they drink that would even wake up a bear from its winter sleep.
The thing that we are referring to is an ancient tradition involving hot stones, steam, and naked bodies that their whole nation takes part in at least once every week.
Sounds quite intriguing, right?
Well, that's what we thought. And so, without hesitation, we set our course towards Finland to try out this thing ourselves and see if they really have found the key to lasting happiness. Friends, the drive was long, but we have made it. We are in northern Finland in a place called Lapland. And what a place it is. I'm pretty sure that it's the only location on our planet that is home to more reindeer than people. Yet, as you probably guess, we didn't come here for them.
Our goal here is to find the secret of happiness, and to do that, a lovely establishment called the Aurora village has come to our help.
As you can simply tell from the name, it's a place where people come to experience the northern lights. But there is one more thing that they excel at, and this is making a true Finnish sauna. Well, the cat is out of the bag. The secret ancient tradition we were talking about is Finnish Sona. But if you're now thinking, come on Joe, I've tried sauna myself and it can't be the long lost key to happiness, then hear me out. Most of us don't even know what the true sauna means. For the Finnish, it is so much more than a warm room in a spa or a sports club. Oh my god, it's 100 degrees. There are special secrets and techniques that go together with this ancient tradition, and we want to share them with you. So first, let's go and start a fire. The traditional version of Finnish sauna, which also happens to be the hottest one by temperature, is heated with firewood that gives this room a very special smell and atmosphere. And this one here takes around 45 minutes to heat up. And while we wait for this thing to heat up, we're gonna show you one of the coolest saunas I've ever seen. Just up the small hill from the traditional sauna lies our first destination, called the Panorama Sauna.
It's time to take our clothes off!
Let's get this party started and let's get naked.
And now that we have taken off our clothes, you might ask, but Liisu, weren't you supposed to be naked? Well, yes, but for some reason YouTube doesn't really like full frontal nudity. So for the sake of this video, I'm gonna keep my clothes on for the most part. Although it's not as hot as a Finnish sauna should be, so it's only 86 degrees, 87 degrees. But the beauty makes up for the lack of temperature.
Once settled in, it was time to truly start to enjoy the experience, which means throwing water on the burning hot stones.
What's the purpose of that?
To create steam, to get the air moving, to get the air wetter. And wet air, it creates heat here as well. It brings the heat from the stones to your body. And as you can see, I'm already breaking sweat. Part of this tradition definitely has to do with hygiene.
And when they say sauna is for hygiene purposes, this is exactly what they mean. Because the hot steamy air makes all the old skin cells come very, very loose.
It serves another very, very important purpose. And this is because in everyday life, things are not very open and they don't socialize very easily. And so, sauna works almost like a place of social gatherings. The rough heat helps to silence one's mind, and it becomes a place where to connect with people around you without outside distractions. Going to sauna also plays a huge role in building family connections, because from a very, very young age, kids start to go to sauna with their parents, and every week you have those 2-3 hour sessions that you're together with the family and there's nothing else, just family time. You talk what's been going on, what's bothering you, what are your hopes and dreams. It's a way of bonding. Who would have guessed that the burning hot room can be a good place for building relationships, right?
And if you're asking why do we know all of this stuff, then as Estonian, sauna addiction is something that we stole from the Finnish.
Yeah. It's not as bad in Estonia, but when I was a kid, twice every week was sauna day. But trust me when I say it, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the magic of sauna. Okay, last time, pulling water over the stones, getting the heat up. And now that your body can't take any more heat, it's time to go outside. An hour ago, it was 1 degree outside, almost freezing. Now I think it's around 5-6. It's still so refreshing and cooling. The time outside of the hot room could be considered as relaxation. Your heart once again slows down, and it really feels like a moment of rest after a demanding physical exercise. And this is definitely one of the big differences between Finnish sauna culture and rest of the world, that coming out of the sauna here does not mean that it's over. It's just the first cycle, and you do such cycles 2 to 5 times depending on the company, depending on your health. Well, and a cold drink is also necessary after sweating out of pretty much every pore on your body.
Can we swap? Can I get the girly drink?
Is this curly? Then it is time for another cycle. And now to the part that I've been waiting for, the one that we've been heating up, the traditional Finnish wood sauna. We had done all the appropriate preparations, from heating up the small room to buying a bunch of branches in a local supermarket, which in Finland is an essential part of sauna equipment, but probably not in a way you were thinking. So now it was time to start. It's quite hot and dry in here, and the temperature says 102. It is quite hot here. Staying in such a hot room really pushes your body to its limit. It's a strange sort of pleasure we Northerners get from it. At the same time feeling our bodies working hard, yet our minds are in a state of meditation. So it is no wonder that modern science keeps finding more and more benefits to this ancient tradition, from lowering the risk of heart disease,
reduction in likelihood of dying of a cardiovascular event, stroke or otherwise. The more often you do sauna, the better,
to increasing metabolic rate. And once the heat gets too much, another shocker. From 100-degree room to about 4 degrees in the freezing water. It is so cold. This water is like 4 degrees. And just like this, time and time again. When I was still in school, I remember a story our history teacher told us. He had gotten his hands on some old Soviet Union newspapers, published after Russians had to retreat from the Winter War against Finland, and they were full of propaganda, saying that it's impossible to win against the Finnish, as they are simply not human. It gets warmer every time. The article said that they spent time in a 100-degree room, then jump into a lake at -30 outside, and to make it even crazier, beat themselves with dried branches while moaning of pleasure. Oh, and if you're wondering what branches am I talking about, then I guess it's time to reveal the final part of sauna cycle. By now, you have probably realized that there are some unusual things going on here. And so, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Beating yourself with those branches is again good for blood circulation. And although it might seem like a punishment, or even something out of the 50 Shades of Grey book, then for a nation who is not very touchy-feely, it is pretty much the closest thing to a massage.
It's not the domestic violence, it's called sauna treatment. Pretty nice.
And as I was laying there, being beaten by my girlfriend, it all started to make sense. This tradition here ties together many important things, from social bonding and family time, to physical activity, and even a weird form of meditation. Well, and as we all know, all of those activities have been for a long time associated with happiness of an individual. So I'm pretty sure that the fact that Finnish are obsessed and even addicted to those activities through the tradition of sauna definitely plays a huge role in them being the happiest nation in the world.
Happy people are clean
Hygiene rules!
and not and naked all the time.
Friends, that was absolutely incredible. I feel like a new person. Clean, refreshed, and also I feel like I've been working out for like 2 hours. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see how sauna works in another culture that is definitely more touchy-feely than the Finnish, then make sure to watch this video next. Bye!